might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space. With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want.
Hello and welcome to Word in the Burg, our monthly topical talk show on the issues that matter to you for Harrisburg and the region. We've got a great show today, and I want to remind you that if you have topics for future shows, please feel free to email them to wordintheburg@cityofhbg.com. We look forward to hearing from you. We've already got some exciting suggestions for future shows lined up. Today we're joined by three wonderful guests. We have Jackie Parker, who is the director of our Department of Community and Economic Development. We have Mr. Lenwood Sloan, who is the head of our Arts, Culture, and Tourism Department here at the City of Harrisburg. And we have Helen Spence, who is the County Communications Coordinator for Dauphin County, and we're very pleased to have all of you here. Let's start with the video. You can't watch that Harrisburg Happy video without tapping your feet or humming along. Lenwood is the most accomplished dancer here. What did you think of all those dance moves?
Well, Mr. Mayor, Confucius says you can tell the condition of a man's kingdom by the state in which you find the dance there, which means that everything is great here because the dancing was outstanding in that.
It really was. And it's become something of an internet sensation. I think we've had already over 14,000 views. And if you go to the city's website, harrisburgpa.gov, you can click on the video, you can watch it there. And I think it projects right away a new positive energy for the city.
Including the clerk of the council, sir, dancing in the council chambers, which is
yes, that's Kirk Petrosky in a very impressive role there. But Jackie, tell us about how the video fits into the larger theme of our attempts to rebrand the city of Harrisburg, have people take a look at the city in new ways.
Well, I think the video is an example of some of that momentum that you were talking about, and I think that people now have a different outlook about Harrisburg, and the settings and the scenes that some of those people were in are some of the things that we'd like to highlight. Arts, culture, tourism is a key to economic development, and as such, that department is coming forth, of course, in the summertime, which is very key for our tourism, and also our youth. That want opportunities in the summertime, and so now we're talking about how to rebrand and how to tell people all about what's happening. So we landed on Summer in the City as our slogan for the summer, but it's really more than just that. It's just about arts, culture, tourism, showing off our assets, showing off our arts community, which is very strong here. More than just those summer things is really an atmosphere and our community, and it's really showing those assets. And that is really, again, key to economic development because that shows that people like to live here, they want to perform here, they want to reside and enjoy the area.
So the video is really the start of a whole new marketing campaign for the city of Harrisburg. And one of the things that I think it does very successfully is it shows those sort of old, familiar places in Harrisburg. You can readily recognize whether you're in downtown or uptown or in Allison Hill in the video, but it shows them in new ways, not the least of which are with happy dancers basically inhabiting the streets. And I think it's part of and I believe it is our first video in what will hopefully be a series of videos. And I want to thank Ryan Grisby, who's currently behind the camera right now, for all that he did in helping put that video together. But it's part of a larger new marketing plan for the city. And I believe the first phase of that plan is, as you said, Jackie, Summer in the City. And Lenwood, could you talk a little bit about what that campaign has in store for residents?
It will be very exciting, Mr. Mayor, whether you are standing on the street waiting for your bus or cruising down one of the many boulevards that the CAT Rapid Transit System, you will see our Summer in the City campaign, which engages the beautiful landscapes of the city, the exciting attractions as the background, but the citizens of Harrisburg proud to call it home and proud to step up and invite their guests, open their doors and open their hearts to people between Memorial Day and Labor Day. So that campaign will be across bus shelters, bus kings, that's the front and back end of our public bus systems. Inside the bus there will be literature. Closer up there will be rack cards about the many things that you can do along the Catway and along our cultural corridors. So we think it reminds people that the city is a safe place, that the city is a place of grace with open doors and open hearts, and we think people will be really engaged by that campaign.
That's right, and I've had a chance to get a sneak peek of some of the images. Smiling faces, having their faces painted, young children at an arts fest, or a grandfather and grandson at the ball game. I think, again, it's helping people see Harrisburg in a new way, and it's projecting that image throughout the whole region. To think that we'll be in every CAT bus in the entire fleet. Folks will see that on their way in or their way out of the city. Helen, we're going to talk a little bit about basically our new programming for the summer, but tell me a little bit about what you see in terms of the city and why remarketing the city is so important.
Oh, it brings such connection together. Bringing us all together, I think, is just a fabulous endeavor. I am so excited to be a part of the collaboration of many, to come together and empower each other to utilize the strengths that we all possess to bring about solutions to our city in a positive way.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And Jackie, from an economic development standpoint, have we already begun to see signs of that new image working in terms of inquiries from others interested in coming in and taking advantage of this new exciting city?
We did see a lot of it at Arts Fest. We certainly had a nice crowd that came there, but there were people interested in what was happening for the rest of the summer. When we talked about the jazz in the parks, when we talked about our July 4th weekend, which we'll speak to later, but everybody was interested that this was the Arts Fest was Memorial Weekend, just the beginning of many, many things to happen. And I think, as Helen mentioned, really keying in on the youth, we sense that there's that tie-in so that our kids also will be involved in the many aspects of summer in the city as well.
And let's start with youth, because really it all comes down to our youth. They're the future of our community, and we're really looking to do things a little bit differently this year. It's quite exciting. We've decided to try and integrate the city summer programming with the quality summer programming that Dauphin County and the school district were already collaborating on. And that's fairly unprecedented, and I think it has the opportunity really for the first time to impact just many more kids than ever before. So Helen, can you tell us a little bit about what we have in store for the youth of the city over this summer?
Let's start with what don't we have in store. It's just a fabulous opportunity for so many young people from grades kindergarten to 12th grade. It's to partake in such wonderful opportunities. The components of the program consist of education and life skills development and recreation and development in the arts and recreation, and just so much for our young people this year, to come together and just enjoy themselves in a safe, wonderful environment that includes all of the community and all of the community entities coming together to work with them and for them and work together as a team. I think it's just a wonderful opportunity for families this year.
Well, let's start with some of the basics. So if you're watching this program in early June, there's still time to sign up, right?
Yes.
So how does a parent get his or her student involved?
Well, they need to get to any of the public schools here in Harrisburg, all of the we have 7 schools. We have 4 elementary schools. That's Downey, Benjamin Franklin, Foose, and Scott. We'll be taking all kids from kindergarten to 4th grade. And then we have our 2 middle schools involved. Camp Curtin and Roland will take all of the kids from 5th grade to 8th, and then John Harris will take all of our high school kids. So it's a way for all young people to be involved in our holistic programming. It's just the synergy of organizations and governments and businesses and colleges all coming together for the good of the young people and their families. It's exciting.
And it really is, because in the past where you've had all these sort of different programs competing, there's really one overarching master program. There's more than just that, but there's one synergy. So walk me through sort of a typical day. How would it play out?
Well, the young people would come in the morning and they get breakfast. The breakfasts come in between 8 and 8:30, and then they have academic instruction with certified teachers from the city at all of the programs to enhance their education. You know, many of our young people, sometimes we lose that incentive over the summer, but they do it in a fun way. It's not like a summer school type thing. The kids get to do all kind of experimental learning and stuff, but they actually get the reading and the literature and all of those type of things during the first segment of the morning. And then in the afternoon it turns to a whole nother dimension of fun and activities and rich things that the city has brought to us in terms of the arts and all of that, you know, stuff, and the recreation and the Fun Day Fridays. We've even tagged it Fun Day Fridays, where we're going to have a multiple different types of trips all over. Anything from going to see different factories up in Lancaster to the petting zoo to all kinds of things, to educational trips, to fun trips, everything for our young kids. So, and it's all free.
That's wonderful. And how many young kids are we expecting to be involved in the program?
We're looking to be able to take 1,000 or more kids this year.
That's really incredible. Right. Much more than ever before.
Yes.
And in many more sites.
Yes.
And Len, would talk about the city's role in helping to bring the sort of arts programming and enrichment opportunities in the afternoons.
Well, Mr. Mayor, as you and your guests who are at home know, we have always done a Fun in the Sun program in our summer park and playgrounds. This year we are lifting that program off of the playground and setting it at the conjunction of the sites that Helen and her partners are having in the public schools. So the school is the setting for our summer program. It's more than Fun in the Sun this year. It's transformative summers. We are really talking about, our program is called See Me. C stands for Summer Enrichment Experience. The me is the child, and we want to look at that child at the beginning of the summer and travel with that child across the summer towards their next grade level as they have a truly transformative experience. We think that art and culture is important to the transformation of those children. And so we're supporting the math, the language skills, the social studies, and the science skills with things like teaching golf to the algebra students and the geometry students, teaching bike repair to the trade majors, working with a circus school in tightrope walking and cycling and unicycle and juggling. Really wonderful program that embodies all that you've brought to the city called Splash, where our visual artists and our muralists are working with garbage cans, park benches, as well as 4x8 plywood that would normally go over blighted buildings. Those children are creating mosaics and Mondrians and Picasso type things to go up. They'll be able to drive their parents down the street and look at a building and say, that's my art. A song school where the kids learn songwriting, and all of these things are in the noon to 3 period following the educational programs. From 3 to 5, we'll be at St. Francis, at Resting Place, at Boys and Girls Club, and at Reservoir Park for those children who are not going to summer school to have enrichment experience. And then we have a pretty active citywide evening program called Sports in the City, which will be a skateboard camp at Reservoir Park, a 5K track school at the Kunkel Plaza, lots of a basketball school at 4th and Emerald. For those children who in the early evening would normally sit on the stoop, we want to invite them off of that stoop and into our parks.
Wow, there's just so much happening this summer. It's really exciting. And I think it's important to note that from a parent standpoint, there are a lot of activities happening in the late afternoon and the evenings, not just a part of this sort of comprehensive full day that we have planned. I think the best way for folks to get information is to go to the harrisburgpa.gov website. And there they'll see an icon that says Summer in the City. Click on that icon and you'll be able to find out more information about all the various programs that we're discussing here today. But Helen, this is relatively new, this level of collaboration. Perhaps it shouldn't be, and we're really pleased that we're able to spearhead it. But tell us more about some of the collaborative partners.
Well, we have colleges such as Penn State, which will be taking groups of our kids up for the whole day to experience the colleges and activities there and spend the day on the at the dorms and so forth. And Messiah College is involved. You have HAC. You have many of our community partners from our health department. Hamilton Health is involved. They'll be bringing information. We believe that education is empowering our young kids to make factual decisions on what they do. We have our formal systems involved, such as JPO and the Attorney General doing things, working together with our kids around prevention on crime and what those factors are. And just just an array of organizations. It must be over, I'm going to say maybe about 60 organizations that have come together, and businesses.
Pooling their resources, pooling their efforts, and trying again to get across the idea that education can be fun, and the summer can be time for that sort of cross-pollination and the wonderful mixing of ideas and art. Just fantastic.
And also, what's unique about it is it builds such relationships, because at the end of the day, if we all build these healthy relationships, no matter where we're coming from, whether it's the city, the county, the businesses, we even have the faith base have joined us. You know, we have many churches, the Goodwin Memorial and the Joshua House, and different churches have joined to be a part of what we are doing for our kids. And this speaks volume to our young people, because it's one thing to say that we care, but kids don't care how much we know until we show how much we care. And when we're there in that capacity and pulling our resources and just there for them day in and day out, and they can know us on a different level, you know, it just makes it so much more unified in the long run and sustainable for our young people to know that the police are not just there to arrest people or these things, or the business people want to work with us and things, that they get a sense of belonging. And that brings back our community when we feel a sense of belonging.
Yes, and I think it's great that we're modeling as leaders within the city and the region. We're modeling that spirit of cooperation. We're also showing the youth that they are our number one priority. We're going to focus all of this energy, all of these resources on them to create something special and new and exciting.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, modeling is quite an important part of the city's program. Our program is a Masters and Mentors program. This year we're sending a team of 3 people into each school. The lead partner is a mentor and a master who has experienced a life of work in their skill base, their art form, or their sports activity. Their coordinator, we call the journeyman, and these are 18 to 25-year-olds who are part of the 14 colleges in the Central Pennsylvania system, who are studying arts and education, sports education, health and recreation, and they will be the journeymen who work with this master to codify their offering into a curriculum that can be offered for the schools in the fall. Each master and journeyman has an apprentice, a young student 16 to 18 who is in his first job or her first job, who is learning not only the skill and the asset, but the discipline and the value of work, the responsibility of stewardship. And so each placement is an experiment and a lesson in itself in intergenerational partnerships. And
that's really wonderful, and and you bring up a whole other point of this, which is that this is also about creating opportunities, job opportunities for the youth in our city. And Jackie, maybe you'd like to talk a little bit about that. I know
we have a very strong staff this summer, and Lenwood and I have been interviewing and talking to the young people, and it's really great to see how many are interested in working for the city. Some of them are repeat employees who have come back year after year, when we're counting on them to be the lead team, and we have new people in, and again, they have a lot of strengths and good background skills to help the smaller children. And again, like you said, it creates job opportunities, and hopefully, those are the kids that'll continue those kinds of efforts as they get older and remember the city and want to stay and work in the city as well.
And I like to boast, Mr. Mayor, that we'll be the largest single employee of youth in the one program. We've got 45 kids going in with mentor teachers, with 15 mentor teachers, a total staff of 60 going into 10 schools this year.
That's really incredible. And do you want to mention just a few of the teachers, the masters that are going to be mentoring?
I am so proud of them. Jackie and I have been looking at these children and wondering why they're not on the evening news. These are exactly the kind of faces. Helen came on Saturday. We had the first ever orientation and training, Mr. Mayor, of our entire summer staff. Mentors, journeymen, masters, all coming together. People like Miss Joyce Robinson. Miss Robinson is the first woman, and therefore the first African-American woman, engineer on the Pennsylvania Railroad, and she drives a diesel engine from Boston to Atlanta as her daily work. She's teaching a 8-part session called Rails and Trails, Women on the Railroad, and she will be talking about the social impact of the railroad as well as jobs for women and the challenge against the odds. And she will finally take a group of girls from the MLK to Philadelphia and back in the engine of her train, so that'll be really exciting. Of course, we're happy to have Floyd Stokes and the super reader with us, Larry Colbert and his songs program, J.T. Dorsey and his soccer program, Nancy Mendez doing our Splash program. So it's just pretty exciting.
Again, I want to say, if you're watching at home, go to harrisburgpa.gov. Look for the icon that says Summer in the City. Click on that, find out more information. I want to turn, we just have a few minutes left, but I want to talk a little bit about what we're planning for 4th of July weekend. We're really trying to do things differently this year. I know that in the past we've had it concentrated. This year we're spreading it out. Lenwood, you want to just sort of walk us through what's on tap for the great Independence Day walk around?
Mr. Mayor, I'm glad that you started by reminding people that I'm a dancer. The walk around is a 19th century vaudeville patriotic thing where you walk to monuments on Independence Day. And so we are walking Independence Weekend to 3 great places. On July 4th, we will be at Reservoir Park with the Family Fun Fest from noon to 6, and then the concert of the Belladonna Band, Jazz Under the Stars, from 7 until 9:30. Some great food and craft will also be there. Then we take the walk and the stroll to City Island on July 5th. Again, the program starts with a Family Fun Festival at the Pavilion, and then an evening patriotic concert celebrating the 70th anniversary of D-Day and our veterans, along with our colleagues and partners, the Harrisburg Symphony Orchestra, on the field playing patriotic music and great fireworks afterwards. We then take a stroll on Sunday, first to Kunkel Plaza for an 11 o'clock interfaith gospel sing-along. People don't sing together, come out, bring your voice and your favorite hymns, we'll sing. And then on to Italian Lake for the Children's Family Fest at noon, and then a great concert, Mike and Molly, international folk singers. So it'll be a great opportunity. We like to say, as you do, it's 3 for free that weekend. And, you have a smorgasbord of ways to celebrate.
All for free,
yes.
all emphasizing different parts of the city which aren't necessarily traditionally seen for 4th of July weekend.
And different cultural expressions and music on each day.
Yeah. And again, I want to remind our viewers that they want to find out the full schedule for the 4th of July Independence Weekend walk around. Go to harrisburgpa.gov and click on the Summer in the City. Friday, Reservoir Park, featured. Saturday, City Island and the traditional fireworks, and then Sunday, beginning in Kunkel Plaza and going to Italian Lake. And all 3 days with a family-focused theme, right?
Yes, sir. And also healthy foods theme. Yes, you will be able to get your falafel and your fried everything. But at the Family Fun Fest, you'll also be able to find great ways to enjoy your palate and your appetite and eat healthy at the same time.
Well, that just sounds wonderful, and I know I'm looking forward to bringing my family out for that wonderful series of weekend events. We thank you all for joining us. This was a great show. I hope you learned more about some of the changes that are in store for the summer in Harrisburg, some of the exciting opportunities for our youth, for our families, for everyone. Hope to see you out on the 4th of July weekend. And remember, if you have suggestions for future shows of Word in the Burg, send us an email at wordintheburg@cityofh.org.